It's the Friday Feels, and we're back with your first sip of the weekend. You're now tuned in to this week's episode of Your Happy Hour. I'm your host, Nicole Carmine, and it's amazing to have you here, joining me this week as we uncover the truths about being a human and a working professional. What are you up to this Friday? Well, whatever it is, this moment is just for you. A very big welcome to you all from very sunny South Africa. We are into week 3 of our theme, Naturally Nourished. And this month we've been talking about how we kind of look after ourselves and how we do this naturally. So we've taken some turns around the world of tea, around the world of sound healing, and we're tapping into what it is to be a vibrational being and being natural humans, but also working professionals. And I thought that while we're talking about all of this, let's get a little bit grounded and take ourselves into the wondrous things that our earthly soil can give us. And of course, I am talking about the delicious drink of wine. And so here's the thing. Wine, as we know it, isn't as natural as we may think it to be, the wine that we buy in the store. And it's not always this goodness that just comes straight from the earth. So in fact, there is a lot of processing power that goes into creating fine art winemaking. And we're very super appreciative of all of that. But on this quest of delving into being more nourished naturally, I thought we'll take a little peek into something I've discovered in my journey of travels here in France, or there in France rather, and that is something called natural wine. So today, to unpack this topic a little bit more with me, is entrepreneur Yohann Bruny, a founder of a company called Culinary. I hope I'm saying this correct. You can help me. And a very passionate individual about the development and also distribution of chemical-free food products. And of course, this includes clean and additive-free wine. So a very big welcome to the Friday Feels space and the Your Happy Hour podcast, Yohann.
Really happy to be there. It's been a long time, and let's speak about this really really important subject that is natural wine, and it's really good example of what we can try to do in enjoying the ecological transition.
Yeah, it is a really important topic, and I got to know you because I've had the pleasure of wining and dining at your restaurant, Yard, in Paris, and to taste this thing called natural wine. I'm still learning a lot about your industry. So do you want to maybe just give us a little bit about how did you stumble into natural wine? Did you always have a passion for it? How did you end up creating what you have at the moment?
Yeah, really not. I'm really not a wine guy first. I'm more entrepreneur in different kind of subject, always with an ecological point of view. What we try to do is to make stuff move in a subject we cross. Most of the time we associate with people and try to develop that stuff, and us, we are more on the business part, accounting, financing, strategy stuff. But I crossed these possibilities to enjoy and develop natural wine, something who really became an impetus stuff in my life. But first, I was really not into natural wine. Even into wine, the story is funny. When before I discovered natural wine, I used to think that I didn't like wine. In fact, it's just that I didn't cross the wine I liked, in fact. And at 22, 23 years old, with life, developing business and stuff like that, we met some people who made us try natural wine, and I discovered that it was something that I really liked. But at the beginning, the really beginning, I was not into gastronomical stuff. So a big thank you to this project to make me discover the pleasure of the food the extremely complexity of what can be eating, and after you getting a little bit interest in how you produce that, what kind of experience you can have with the gastronomy stuff, and yeah, it's really cool. So to give information to people who maybe would not know natural wine, I can give a really too easy but definition of natural wine. You get three different kind of wine. The first is what we can call conventional wine. It means chemicals in the ground, so to make grow the grapes, and chemical in the juice. You got bio wine, so bio grapes and chemicals in the juice, and you got natural wine with the step after. No chemical in the grape, no chemical in juice. And it's first what interest us. It's not so often that you can find in the big challenge that we have to initiate and continue our more eco-friendly journey in our society, that you find something that can be really using a lot of chemicals, like conventional wine, and find the solution to stop doing that. It's not easy on a lot of different way, and I think we'll discuss about it in the hour coming. But sometimes you got really a solution. It need to be complex. It need to be marketing good. And it's funny, but what we try to do is to bring people product solution that are not only based on the it's ecological, if you see what I mean. Nobody wants to buy ecological wine if it's not in their taste, if it's not good as they want, and stuff like that. What is fun with the... I used to be in electricity business, and that what is really simple in a solar panel business, because we have a company who build and sell solar panel electricity. In electricity, you don't have different kind of quality, if you see what I mean. So it's really production at the lower price we can, and the most clean way we can. In the wine, in the gastronomy, we never have to forget that, first of all, it's pleasure. You have to enjoy it, because you can cross all the steps. A good product made in a good condition, everybody is paid, and blah blah blah. But in the end, if the wine is not good and doesn't find his consumer, his people who enjoy it, it's a little bit of a lack of time. And we really think that we need to find pleasure solution for this transition, because it's been a long time that we speak about we need to do better, and it's too often it's under constraint. Either it's really too expensive, either it needs to change your habits, and it's good. We need to continue that. But I think that pleasure is a more efficient engine than constraint, and then to have an obligation to do it. So that's what we try to do.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, because the wine I tasted was really good and obviously very clean. So I'm trying to remember the exact bottle. There was this really big bottle that you that had. It was orange, or no, maybe not. But
Yeah, orange wine. It's a funny
orange
story.
wine,
It's
yeah,
a wine you
yeah.
can find only at our place, because we are natural wine. First, we are natural wine distributors. Not only that, but the topic of today is the wine. So what we try to do is to find winemakers who do a great job and bring this wine to make discover to the most people we can in Paris, but in the world too. We sell natural wine from different countries. We have a lot of wine from France, of course, but we have wine from Spain, Italy, and some area, of course. And we sell it around 30 countries in the world, stuff like that. For the moment, natural wine is a small market, but really a worldwide market. So we tried to develop that. And where we met at the restaurant, we decided to open a restaurant who's called Yard, who got his little reputation in Paris and natural wine world. We tried to develop that in the 2016 because natural wine was not as famous as today. So we thought it would be good to have our place to show our winemakers, our wine, what we can do, how we can try people this new stuff. And we never quit because it's funny to have this kind of place.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a great spot, and I know you guys have great little parties there, and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. And you're right, it's nice to be able to go and have a fresh experience because it is different to what we know out in the world, to what people are used to from wine, and it's quite a quiet taste. You have to find what works for you, which I really appreciated. So I'm curious though how you became involved in ecological, like what was that motivation for you when you started as an entrepreneur? And maybe what also motivated you as an entrepreneur? We have a lot of people that are drawn to the Friday Feels podcast that seem to be entrepreneurs or starting their journeys. And so it's always interesting to hear what was that inspiration. How did you get going?
I think it's a family stuff. As long as I remember, I always knew I would have been my own boss. I think it's maybe for me related with the. It's always complicated because you always rewrite the story as you want, but I think it's always been linked with the liberty. And for me to be free, it's need to be able to assume the choice you make. And it's complicated to assume choice when you are not responsible for all your activities. Maybe there is something like that. But I always knew that I wanted to have my own companies and stuff like that. So there is no, okay, I wake up one morning and this is what I'm gonna do. No, I have the feeling it's always been there. Of course, you never really know what it means and what it takes before sending it, but really happy to really happy to do it. I think it's the best, the hardest, but the best journey you can choose. If it fits with you, of course. It's not made for everyone, but like every job is not made for everyone, so no problem with that.
And so what do you, I mean, 10 years ago, you always knew you'd be an entrepreneur, but did you see yourself doing what you're doing now today?
What we always wanted to do with my associate is to find people who have ideas, who have talents, and put our talents, our knowledge, who is connected with finance, small company, and trying to develop small company. And what I like with that is we can meet anyone. If you see what I mean. We can do stuff in healthcare business. We do stuff in hotel hospitalities business. We are trying to do stuff in AI, artificial intelligence, with photography, with photos. You're really what I wanted to do. I did a business school, and the reason why I did a business school is I think it's because you don't really know where you want to work, and what I like in this kind of cap is finance, accounting, strategy, development, marketing is terms that every company need. So it's really what I like with my job today. Even in culinaries, in the same day, I can speak with a chef, with a winemaker, with the waiters, with a banker, with investors, with completely different people. And you need to understand what they are looking for, what they want, and try to make all interest align and make it work. Bring people with you in your story. And I think that I was really not into restaurant business and stuff like that before having a restaurant. And it's something I really like because every day is a new day. Every day you meet new people, and there is a lot of way to reach out to them. And it's cool. It's pleasure. And what I like the most in in the restaurant. What I really like is sometimes you do project. It's long term. It takes time to convince people and stuff like that. What I really like in the day-to-day basis on the restaurant is you can have really concrete, direct return. Sometimes you have people who come at the restaurant, they don't know about natural wine, especially. We are trying to really not be sommelier in the wrong way. You see what I mean? I know that sometimes wine can be a little bit elitist,
Yeah.
can scare people. We are really not like that. The only question who works in this industry and more in wine, and this I got it from the winemaker. Whatever winemaker whatever winemaker I met, the greatest who sell bottle at 1,000 euros or the small one who try to sell more modest wine. The only question they ask you when they make you try the wine, you like it or not? And it's cool. It's a good start. And depending on the level of knowledge you got in this business, we can go further. And I think it's something that we should more develop, especially in France, where everyone is used to, a lot of people are used to drink wine and speak about it. Don't forget that first you need to enjoy, or not, but discover some new stuff. And the moment when you try to make people taste wine and see where they are in the relation with wine, with natural wine and stuff like that, and you can make them try some stuff, and there is the little flame, a little fire just open, and say, "Oh shit! This is really good. This is really good with the moment. This is really what I want. This is," and there is a special connection that you can find in this moment, and we never will say to a guy, "Oh, you don't like it. You don't like it. It's because you don't know wine." Maybe he doesn't know wine, but your job is to make him have a good time and find something that he likes. So really try to be aware of what people want, because it changes every day. It changes every day. If you had a really good day, maybe you're more open to crazy stuff, new stuff. And if you don't like it, it's not a problem, because it opens new doors in your head. And you say, okay, maybe I'm not fan of that, but I didn't know that you could do this kind of product with grapes. And another day you had a bad day, you want something really, really straight, really that you can understand, really comfy. So it's our job to welcome people and give them a little seed in their head to say, hey, look, we can do that in natural wine. And it's what the natural wine market is trying to do, and do it more and more since a few years. That I really like. We have been used to be maybe a little bit, and it's only me saying that, and don't take it like a truth. We've been maybe a little bit too much crazy on wine, who is a good stuff, because I think, like me, the crazy stuff, the really different kind of wine can bring people to enter. People who are not used to drink wine say, okay, I thought I didn't like wine. There is new taste in wine. I go in it. It's really cool. But now, since few years, a winemaker can really be able to do natural wine in tastes that conventional people can enjoy, can rely on. And it's really cool. It's really what I'm trying to tell you. You drink the first question we always ask you when you come at the yard is, where are you with the wine? Do you know wine? Do you drink conventional wine? Do you drink natural wine? Are you in a mood where you want to discover new stuff, or are you more, okay, let's take time? How much you want to put in? And now we are really a huge range of wine at every price for everyone, and we like that. We call that, most of the time, we call that transition wine. It's when it's naturally wine. But if I put it on the table, really complicated to know that it's not conventional stuff. So we try to speak to everyone, because the wine must be for everyone.
Yeah, I love that. And that's kind of that's the experience I had, which I appreciated as well. And I think, I'm in South Africa. South Africa has a lot of beautiful wine. I'm used to drinking wine. I grew up with wine. But I don't often think about necessarily where the wines come from or how it was made or, the natural part of that. And I remember when I spoke to you the first time, I was like, oh, I've never really thought about, is this clean? Is it not clean? Is like, how is this processed? And what goes into that? I think a lot of other food products, we've started becoming aware of, what is the impact on the world when we are consuming, but maybe not so much wine, and maybe that's just me. But what have you found has been the biggest difference? I think a lot of people are probably going to listen and be like, well, what is the difference between natural wine and normal wine in terms of processing and cleanliness? So what is that for you? I don't know if you want to share some stats or something like that.
First, the philosophy can be really different. Of course, it's bio in the wine. There is a lot of technical stuff, and I don't want to bore people with that. And maybe it's not the most important. But for example, there is no. I'm not even sure I know the terms in English for technical stuff. The grapes, it's at least bio wine. Most of the time, you try to not use trucks or stuff like that. There is a lot of natural winemaker who used to try to harvest by hand for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is to not compact the ground because when you go with big heavy mechanicals in your grapes, it kind of kill the floor. And as you can't use a lot of wine chemicals once you have juice. A lot of natural winemaker used to say that 90% of the process of giving a good wine is in your grapes, because the more quality wine you get, naturally grounded and stuff like that, the better would be the juice. And all the point of having chemical in the wine is to try to orientate the wine to kill the default and stuff like that. If your grapes are really good from the beginning, normally you should not have default in your juice, all the less, and you can become what a winemaker, a natural winemaker, is trying to be, is to be the less interventionist possible, to let the grapes, the ground, the juice become what it needs to be. Of course, this is a cool story. Of course, they have a lot of stuff to do. Make blendings and stuff like that. You can still work on your wine, but it's more natural stuff to say, okay, this year the ground gave me this, I have this juice. You can play with the temperature of your wine place. There is a lot of technical stuff and can be a little bit too technical. One for the consumer, something that is really cool is you really have less headache and stuff like that, because it's not full of products. So your relation can be dangerous, but your relation with the party is really different, because if you drink only really natural wine, the day after you can feel that, of course, it's still alcohol, and I'm really aware that it's still alcohol. So I will never say that wine is good for your health or stuff like that. For your physical health, for your mental health, it can of course be. But you can really enjoy and drink with moderation. And the day after, you will not be killed because you drank 2 glasses of poor white wine and say, oh shit, I'm fucked for the day. So
cool. Well, that's really a relief to me. I mean, thinking about being more natural and feeling more nourished, and then also feeling good the next day, because I find The older I'm getting, it's definitely getting tougher and tougher. If I have a glass of wine, even just one, and the next day I feel it. So maybe that's just me, but I think age does play a role in it. So it's really good to know that there is wine out there that comes from the ground, that's natural. And I really like the idea of leaving something be what it wants to be. I mean, it's a bit like us as humans, where we, go with the flow of life and figure out what is our way, and to be able to consume things that are natural, that, if we had to be left out in the wild and we just picking fruit, and yeah, natural wine would be something that I think will be part of our diets, out in the wild. So that's really awesome to hear. And I think it's really cool how you've walked a journey as an entrepreneur, finding your way and your own flow, as well. So what I am curious though is just on the topic of nourishment and being natural. How do you nourish your cup? I mean, being an entrepreneur is not really easy, as we were saying. It's not for everybody. But what has been kind of your motivation throughout it all? What has kept your entrepreneurial cup full, so to speak, if that makes sense?
No, it's really the feeling of being free, of having your impact. It will challenge you in every kind of way, every day. You have to be real with people, because if not, they will feel that there is something wrong. Yeah, but, like I told you, I'm not. I never asked myself, will I do? Because it was completely sure. But yeah, really feel that. I think the most interesting stuff is getting that the future can be better in your own terms, of course, and that you can have really impact on that, or you try your best. You know that now, because when I was younger, I used to think that, yeah, we save the world, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. It's cool because you're young and completely crazy. But now it's more about bringing your little stuff, the way you do it, and if you can do it, changing stuff in the good way, it's cool. We really try to speak to people with the solution in the way they're consuming their stuff. For example, in natural wine, if every bottle of natural wine is too expensive, it's cool, but you're not speaking to everyone. And what we try to do since a few years now, it's to augment, it's to grow up the volumes. And like this, you can lower the price and everyone lives better and have access to not so expensive natural wine. So, of course, for the moment, we don't have bottle as competitive as you can find in a conventional wine, the 2 or 3 euros bottle that you can find in supermarket. I think we will never be able to do it, but now for the cave place, we can have 10 euros, 12 euros bottle, stuff like that. And it's really good. It's really cool wine. So it's something that you can, yeah, maybe motivate me on. We do normal stuff. We don't reinvent stuff. We take techniques of other business, but we try to apply it on stuff we believe in. That can be better.
Yeah. It's important to find your why, like the reason that you get up every morning and that you do the things you do. That doesn't matter the industry, really. I think that's the essence of being an entrepreneurial spirit, like you say. It's great what you've created, that you can have any kind of idea come to life through what you're doing and change the world in some ways. So in a year from now, what do you see? Where do you see yourself, and where do you see the natural wine and yard? What can we celebrate with you as Friday feels?
We never know. That it's all the point. We never know. For example, yesterday night I just discussed for the next dinner. We can make a new wine. We can cross new winemakers. We can connect maybe our solar panel company with producing natural wine. It's what I really like. I really don't know where I will be in 10 years, and I really don't want to know. We will see. It's there today. I never thought I would be there before. We still have a lot of stuff to achieve, of course. And I hope it will never stop.
Yeah.
It's what I will like in this life. You don't know what will happen. And the day I will know what will happen, I will change it, of course. Still be open. Don't have any problem to be really convinced in what you think, in what you believe at this time, because you need that to get up every morning. Still being open to listen to people. You asked me what kind of advice, and I thought about that. But I think it's never take stuff personal, because you will cross people who are as convinced as you in this moment, and not be afraid of saying 10 minutes after, okay, I thought it was this the solution, but I did wrong, and now I go for that. It's not a problem as long as you're sincere in what you do. And member of my family gave me an advice to say, okay, never make it for the money, because the journey is too hard for that. If you wake up if you do that for money, you will not last long, because you need motivation every fucking day, because it's a kind of BDS where, and that's what you want. When you have responsibility at the end, you can always be a little bit alone. You're never really alone, but at the end you need to decide where we go. And there is no one good answer. There is plenty of answers, and when you choose your answers, you have to convince everyone near you that this is the right way. I know it. It's sure, and you're never sure. You will know in 10 years if it was the good way. There is no good way. There is no bad way.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. What I'm kind of sure is the worst decision. It's not to take some.
That is true.
Really, go for it. You will see. You will never know. It's not because you win that you're the best. It's not because you lose that you're shit. This kind of stuff. Most of the time, you need to have luck. Never forget that if you success, it's because you had a lot of luck. And lucky people are the one who try the most. So go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Still be open of what people think, what people tell you, older people, younger people. But you will never know. You will never know. So do it more for yourself, for where you see your life in what you want to be involved. And whatever the reason, whatever the money you make and stuff like that, when you wake up, do you think you're in the good business? Because even if your day look like the same, I really think that's not the same to wake up every day for a cause that you believe in.
Yeah.
Even if you do the exact same job in a cause that you don't believe in. So find the good company, the good way to what you think can be good in the future. I think it changes a lot on your day-to-day basis relation with what we call, and I don't like this word, working. I don't believe I'm working. I'm doing stuff. When I'm at the restaurant, I'm doing some stuff. When I go to ski, I'm doing some stuff. When you're doing stuff, you have a limited period of time, and do your stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really good advice, and I feel the same. I think life would become quite boring if you just knew always what was going to happen. And it's quite nice to see the projects come to life and have that reward, but it's also okay if they come to life in a whole different way than what you expected. And sometimes the universe wants to surprise you in that, which is great. So I think it can be daunting for some people who want to hold on to the idea of how they imagined it. But letting that go, I found, at least in the last 2 years, has been a wonderful experience. So I really love that. And I think that, I think if you can just find that thing, like you say, doing stuff, people are always thinking about the work-life balance. But it's just life. It's just life in the end of the day. There is no really such thing.
And of course, you need to have objectives, gives you challenge. And I want to have more restaurant. I want to develop natural wine. I want to sell to more countries. I want to put more seeds in a conventional winemaker to make them and what we succeed to do on several projects to make people aware that exist. Try to give them the opportunities to make their own story. So I want that, but on a personal way. You never know. Maybe tomorrow everything will stop. Yeah, that's life. And do a plan, but it will never happen as you as you want. And don't forget that it's a funny part. It's really the funny part. You do your best. You try to make people believe that you're really the man of the situation until you're the man of the situation, or not. But yeah, it can be. I think it's a real challenge when you're in the company. It's to be the person who will tell, okay, we go there, and maybe it was not the good idea, but assume it's like that.
Yeah.
And it's not really nobody's gonna die. Not in my business, I'm not a I'm not a surgery guy or something like that. Nobody is gonna die as long as you try to do your best so you can, and you will miss a lot of stuff every day. You will tell yourself, oh yeah, maybe I should have been better. Yeah, but
Tomorrow's another day. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I remember my dad once said, he's also an entrepreneur, and he said to me, he said to his partner in business, if it doesn't work out, then we just go home. We just go home, and we try again, and it's fine, and that's life. And it's like you said, rather try than not. So I really love that you've done that. You're a very great inspiration for others listening, that you're following your path. So thank you for sharing that with us. I really, really appreciate that. And for also introducing natural wine to the world, because I think we need more of that. We need more natural stuff, more nourishment. And on that topic of being able to share things with the world, I just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to the people who make this possible, which is rss.com and Riverside FM, for being our partners in creating content and being able to create impact in the world. So thank you for allowing us to capture great sound and to share it. So for anyone out there who is maybe keen to have content, be a podcaster, live streamer, whatever you're doing, or maybe just take your meetings in an efficient way, check out Riverside FM and also rss.com. And they've kindly given us great discounts for our audience and community. So feel free to reach out to us on the social platforms at fridayfields.co. You can DM us and we'll send you the code. And I also wanted to quickly move into something that we've been doing, Yohann, is called the People, Places and Spaces. And every week we choose a person or a place or a space out in the world to showcase that has the feels, the Friday feels. And this week is going to be an eSIM. So it's called Best Network Ever SIM. And I just wanted to say thanks to them, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to travel the way I do and efficiently buy eSIM and load data for next to nothing, and be able to be an adventurer and do my own entrepreneurial work. So thank you for what you guys bring, for making it more affordable to be a digital nomad, a global citizen, and yeah, just great impact and a great app. So our shout out goes to Be an eSIM this week. And then another little section we always do is called our gems. And our gems are really something that's happened to you this week that you felt you learned something from, something that might you have gratitude for. So I'll share mine, and you're welcome to share yours if you want. But this last week we had, I hosted a Divine Woman and Wine Night at La Pomme d'Ève, the South African bar. And it was one of those situations, like you mentioned, where you plan something in your mind and it just turns out the way it needs to. And it ended up being a very intimate, beautiful event where it was just women. I generally always like to include everyone, but in celebration of International Women's Day, we were just women. And it was just raw and real and vulnerable and beautiful. And so I really wanted to say thanks for those women who participated, who came, and it really opened my heart a lot. And sometimes it's nice to just kind of come together and really remember who we are as people. So That was my gem. It really was great to connect with people in that way. What was yours?
Yeah, in Paris it's been good weather. For example, we had a really, really long winter since last year. It was rainy all summer and stuff like that. And it used to be something that I didn't like. I didn't like to. I come from Normandy. Normandy, it's really not hot. And I used to really don't like when it's really hot. It's really personal stuff that I'm sharing. But I succeed in convincing myself that sun can be good, and it's yeah, enjoying this kind of little joy. You see what I mean? They say, oh,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful day. I will enjoy a little bit of sun and stuff like that. I'm thirsty and I will drink. You think you understand what I mean? And this little step that you can do mechanically without even thinking about it. That when you are not good, of course you don't have space in your head to do that. And yeah, getting older can be related to that. Okay, it's a perfect day. Okay, it's a shitty day. Okay, but it outside and yeah, enjoying moment on basic stuff. Oh, this marmalade is. I really enjoy having this marmalade. Taking this time to enjoy small stuff because in our life, if you're really like you're really occupied and doing a lot of stuff, you can lose yourself in making too much stuff and say, okay, I will go to bed because tomorrow it's a big day. We go blah blah. We never stop. And being really able to still be connected with a day-to-day basis, I think it's a everyday work and just remind, okay, this can be good. This can be good on really basic stuff, really basic stuff. A little bit of wind that is hotter than it used to be last week. I say, oh, cool, it's nice. It's really basic and a little bit common stuff, but I think it's really important to remember, okay, we are not God. No, it's not. Let's enjoy small stuff.
I think that's a really nice gem. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think we forget about the small things. And I know just because I've just been in Paris too, the sunshine is very welcome, very, very welcome after some cold. It was really cold, and my South African heart is still getting used to the cold weather. But yeah, I think it's awesome to remember the little things because in the end of the day, that's really life. I think, in the end of the day, that's what we have. We wake up and we can appreciate nature and be able to move and all of that. So it's awesome that you could have that as a gem for you for the week. And it sounds like it's your gem of every week and every day, which is great. I did have one more question for you before we wrap up, and that is something we call the stack, and it's our reading list. It's just maybe you've read a book in your life that really changed you, or you want to read that's been on your pile for a while and you just haven't got there. Anything that you can recommend? What is in your stack is the question. It can be French. That's also okay.
Yeah. But it can be complicated to explain. No, I think it's something that gave me by my grandfather. It's called Le Grand Voyage with Georges Semprin. It's a story. It can be a little bit sad, but it's a story about a Jew during the war who go in the train and really a sad situation and stuff like that. And it can be a discussion between the oppressor and the Jew guy, and it can give you really relative stuff that there is not always bad and wrong and good and healthy and good you're not. It's always about where you are at what point and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it joined with what I said before. It's try the most you can, do it with all your heart, but try the most you can to not take what people say, do, think personally. It's because they have their journey and they are at this point. And there is 99% chance of if you get the same journey, you would be at the same point. So yeah, try to be really convinced with yourself, always asking you questions, but yeah, don't take stuff personally. You have energy and time to lose with that.
That's a great recommendation, and I'll definitely be adding that to my future French stack when I become fluent in this language. But definitely we'll be adding it to the website, the stack. So thanks for that recommendation. And whoever wants to go and navigate to the site, the link will be there to get it. And yeah, thank you so much. And just thank you for coming on today. We'll share all the social links to the yard and to you and culinaries out with everyone in the world. And I wonder for everyone else who's listening, what do you feel about being naturally nourished, about natural wine, about how you are kind of going with the flow in your life? We want to hear all the feels, so please let us know on the socials. We like hearing your messages. And yeah, to you, Yohann, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming and having a raw and real conversation about everything that you've been up to. It's wonderful. I can't wait to come back. Life's been a little busy, but to come back and have some more wine at the yard. And
we had a lot of South African recently. We had the South African waitress and stuff like that. And I discovered that there is plenty of groups of South African in Paris. Really cool people, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a great time, we are here for that. Really cool team.
Yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, I hope maybe one day there'll be a yard South Africa with some natural wine here. Lots of potential. So I know the competition is rife between France and South Africa, so we won't unpack that now. But yeah, thank you to you. Thanks for coming to share. And yeah, we just wish you all the best with everything that you get up to. If you haven't just yet, follow Friday Feels on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can share with us all your feels this week by tagging us at fridayfeels.co. And you can also find the website at that handle. And now, as you ease into this weekend, take a moment. Celebrate who you've become, what you've overcome, and what is yet to come as you do the crazy and cool things that you do as the authentic you. You know, the truth about life and work is that it's hard, but the beauty is this global working experience that you're in, well, we earn it together. So keep connecting, empowering, and inspiring this week. And of course, keep it raw and real. Until next time.